Shane McMahon returned and immediately tore his quad. Ronda Rousey won a match she barely even featured in. And Cody Rhodes went from undesirable to ungoddamn deniable. Oh, actually turns out he's super deniable. He just got beaten by the usual solo spike attack that everybody does. Turns out night one used up all the good booking. I'm Ollie Davis and this is my review of WrestleMania 39 Night 2/B Section 8. In about 10 minutes. Make sure to subscribe and enable notifications to always on, as we got a bunch of huge videos this week, including breaking news on the WWE sale and our Raw After Mania review.
Support WrestleTalk!
Night 2 began with its version of Night 1's John Cena vs Austin Theory, a highly paid top star doing a filler match at the start of the night so they can beat the LA traffic and get home early. Because Brock Lesnar ain't paid by the hour, he beat Omos in under 5 minutes, and somehow 5 of those minutes still managed to contain 2 separate bear hug spots. If you listen close enough, you can actually hear Vince McMahon heavy breathing. Oh my god, the moustache makes it creepier. Oh no, not a moustache! I actually think he looks really dapper. Criticism of this being an actual WrestleMania match that happened aside, Brock vs Omos was the best version of what it could be. Brock sold his ass off, and him eventually hitting 3 German suplexes and an F5 was genuinely impressive. It's really saying something when Brock Lesnar appears to care more about a throwaway match than you, but Ronda Rousey managed to give way fewer Fs in the following WrestleMania Showcase tag match. She is in negative Fs territory. Had a few decent spots, but this was nowhere near as good as the men's showcase match the previous night, partly because of some clunky contrived in-ring work, but mostly because of the finish. After avoiding any physical involvement for the full 8 minutes, likely because of her arm injury, Ronda strolled in and made an already stunned Shotzi tap in an armbar. But wait, here's Bobby Lashley, winner of the ridiculously difficult to carry Andre the Memorial Royal Battle Giant Trophy. He's gonna get his WrestleMania match now, setting up a new feud. Maybe Jay White will debut. Although, that's it. We're moving on already. Is Lashley still down there? No, we've got to move on because we've got at least 15 minutes of video packages to play before the Intercontinental title match, sponsored by Titus O'Neil. Why are you here? Titus commentary aside, who added absolutely nothing, Gunther defending against Sheamus and Drew McIntyre wasn't just match of the night or match of the weekend, it might be WWE's match of the year. These were 3 strike-based Pokemon who spent the majority of the match throwing fists instead of wrestling moves. It created a very different kind of triple threat, where the 3-way spots are just designed around hitting each other more rather than contrived double-team moves. With everyone's chests covered in red welts from just 5 minutes in, this felt unlike any other match physicality in the whole weekend, and one that was grounded in character too. Sheamus seemingly had the title won at one point after hitting Gunther with a brogue kick, but Drew pulled him out, prompting a hateful stare down and 5 closing minutes of everyone's big moves. Claymore, kick out, powerbomb, kick out, brogue kick, kick out. The crowd went crazier with every near fall, but Gunther has the kind of title run with plenty still left in the tank. You hear that, Roman? He hit a top rope splash to break up Sheamus's pin, powerbomb Sheamus onto Drew, and then powerbomb Drew to retain. An excellent match. I think Bianca Belair was the only wrestler with children in their entrance to win a match this weekend. John Cena's Make-A-Wish kids. He lost. Cody had his own kid, a -1 out there. He lost. But WWE appeared to be building a new WrestleMania streak for Bianca, and she retained against Asuka here. It was a very decent match, telling the story of Asuka's speed and technical ability versus Belair's raw power. Asuka gets a submission hold locked in, Belair powers out of that and hits a variation on a slam. Running out of moves, Asuka went for the mist, which Belair ducked in a very cool spot. Asuka got the armbar in, but Belair picked her up for a KOD to retain. A fine match, and extending Bianca's Mania streak is the right long-term move, but it's one of those matches that leaves me a bit unenthusiastic because I can't see where we go from here. Belair has been a one-dimensional, invincible babyface champion for a year now. She needs some NXT call-ups to freshen up the division. Then we got one of the most pre-Triple H segments since he took over. Shane McMahon shock answering Miz's second open challenge and then immediately tearing his quad. I shouldn't be smiling or laughing, that's an actual injury. but it was ridiculous. The ever-present Miz and Snoop Dogg announced the night's attendance figure of 81,395, making a total weekend attendance of 1.89 billion, which led into Miz being angry at Snoop for booking the Pat McAfee match the previous night. Well, if you thought that was bad, he should have replied, "Look who I've got this time!" Shane comes out, a return nobody wanted, dripping in sweat, already gassed from the 5-mile jog down the ramp in his promo, and he went straight into the worst punches you've ever seen. This was not the brilliant WrestleMania Miz vs. Shane classic from WrestleMania 35. Where was Miz, Dad? And just several moves into the first thing you learn in wrestling training, a sequence called the International, where you whip someone into the ropes, drop down, get up, leapfrog, etc. Shane collapsed in a heap because he tore his quad. This was embarrassing. Snoop and Miz, to their credit, then seamlessly improvised a new finish, where Snoop decked Miz, hit a people's elbow, and got the pinfall win. It was so good it felt like that was actually the plan. In lieu of Gangrel, the Pope's Exorcist star Russell Crowe was part of the Hell in a Cell presentation, cutting a video promo before the match. He's an actual Hollywood star, not a YouTuber or a football player or a rapper. Well done, WWE. You actually understand what Hollywood is. This was a well-done match, as they always are with Edge. The spots were inventive, like trapping Finn in the corner with kendo sticks, and an awesome coup de grace off the cage wall through a table. This feud is so past its expiration date, any storyline meat you would usually sink your teeth into had disintegrated into dust. Finn's demon performance was also played a bit too goofy for my tastes, with pain not affecting him and over-the-top gurning facials. Don't know if that was always the case and the gimmick's just out of date now, or if that ridiculous loss to Reigns fatally damaged the character, and an unfortunate botch also undermined the zero-pain selling, when the match had to be paused as medics tended to Finn's busted open head from a ladder spot. Edge won, further undermining the demon, but hopefully that means this feud is now finally done. We got the Hall of Fame class coming out to stand on the stage. I really wanted Dominic Mysterio to attack his dad, and with an hour left of the show, we got our perfectly paced, all the time to breathe main event. It was an incredible, bigger than big time, emotional, back and forth filled journey that ended up not really going anywhere. It's a bizarre experience to enjoy 55 minutes of something thinking it's some of the best wrestling storytelling you've seen in your lifetime, for the final 30 seconds to sour your entire take. Cody's entrance kissing Brandy and holding his daughter at ringside, Roman's entrance beginning with a group of piano players, Michael Cole's epic commentary running down Roman's achievements and the list of all the names he's slain during his title run, the heavyweight action moves of Roman catching a disaster kick into a powerbomb, Cody backflipping Roman through the announcer's table, a pedigree nearfall, the bloodline slowly being stripped away from Roman as the Los Angeles sun is finally setting on his reign, the Usos nowhere to be seen after their loss the previous night, Solo Sikoa ejected from ringside for interfering one too many times. Going into big match, Heyman booked Overdrive, Crossroads, kickout, spear, kickout, guillotine, escape, the crowd into Cody at every spot, elevating the match with every move. Then into big match, Roman booked Overdrive, ref bump, Usos interference, but they're beaten up by Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, who give Roman a stunner and a haluva kick for good measure. The sins of the Bloodline's cheating past is finally catching up with them. Every element of this vast, interconnecting story entwining at the end for its climactic payoff. Cody hits the Crossroads, he holds on for another, but Heyman distracts the referee, Solo Sikoa appears to hit a spike, and Roman wins and retains with a spear. And just like that, in 20 or so of the final seconds, the very reason everything was so good, not just in this match, but the years of storyline, the mega hot local baby faces that have been sacrificed on the altar of Reigns on the way, Drew McIntyre in Britain, Sami Zayn in Canada, sacrifices we accepted because we recognized it was part of a grander tale of Cody winning the belt his father never had, was dashed. I was in shock. I still kind of am. There's a part of me that feels Snoop Dogg is still going to come out and restart the match for the appropriate dusty finish. Cody actually wins. But Roman is still the champion. That story we were all on board with of the crumbling of the bloodline wasn't actually the story at all. But if you're going to swerve away from the narratively satisfying resolution, Triple H, who said in the post-show media call that we can't end stories because the story never ends in WWE, then book it much better. Having Sikoa, who was already ejected from ringside, cost Cody the match is a week. Overdone. Already seen it. lazy angle. The booking of the finish in both the result and how it happened was significantly beneath the recent quality of WWE. Roman should have lost, and if he didn't, it should have been in a far more interesting way. This is the worst pay-per-view of the Triple H era. WrestleMania 39 Night 2 is 71%. And on top of all of that, my head still hurts where Pete pulled that hair out. I wonder what happened to it.
Dr. Sigmund Freud, thank you for meeting me.
Of course, I'm a doctor.
I have that hair. Do you know what's wrong with my friend?
Of course, I'm a doctor. Wait, no. This is fake hair. I need shoot hair. Do you have shoot hair?
Well, of course I do. I always keep a lock of my friend's hair in my pockets. Doesn't everyone?
Son of a bitch.
Doctor, what is wrong with my friend? Does he have a drinking problem?
I don't know. I'm not a doctor of Chagonomics.
Is it because he loves close contact with his peers?
I don't know. I'm not a doctor of Hagonomics.
Is it because of his obsession with that side order from McDonald's?
I don't know. I'm not a doctor of chicken McNugonomics.
Doctor, for the love of God, man. What is wrong with my friend?
This is a hair of a man who has been broken by the wrestling news. Has there been a lot of wrestling news in the past year?
Yeah, there has been a bit.
It would appear then that your friend has WrestleMania.
Son of a bitch. How is this WrestleMania transmitted?
By a direct palm-to-palm contact known as a hot tag due to the accompanying high temperature.
Go check out yesterday's news video where Pete...
Great job.
Oh.
That was excellent hosting.
Oh, thanks,
You're always
bud.
doing such a good job.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I just wanted to do the outro.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I just wanted to say in front of you and everybody else that I appreciate you, not just as a co-worker, but as a friend. Hot tag me, buddy.
Okay. Thanks. Are you feeling all right, bud?
Oh, I'm feeling all right. I'm feeling great. Because I feel like I've proved to everybody that I'm the best on this microphone, in that ring, even on commentary. Nobody can touch me.
Pete was right all along. I think something is wrong with Ollie.
I'm gonna go.
Yeah?
Yeah, can you do the outro?
Oh, yeah, I've got it. I've got the outro, don't worry.
I just need to head this way.
Get out there, keep doing stuff, buddy.
I'm gonna go this way.
Here's a clip of yesterday's news.
The symptoms include cutting wrestling promos, obsessions with certain wrestlers, and of course, costume gimmicks.
Then I'll be just fine, Doc. Hot tag. Thanks, Doc. You're a lifesaver.
No problem. I'm a doctor.
You certainly are.
WrestleMania 39 Night 1 Part A/2 might have been one of the best half-manias in history, with tear-jerking emotional crescendos like Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens finally defeating the Bloodline, brought to you by TurboTax. Rey Mysterio teaching his son respect, brought to you by Cinnamon Toast Crunch. And Rhea Ripley winning the SmackDown Women's Championship, brought to you by getting Charlotte Flair's title reigns up.